OnlyFans is the worst. We should get one.
We should get one.
It turns out that you don't have to do anything. You just trick people into thinking you sell nudes on there, and then
once they pay and find out that they don't,
then you have their money, and it's just a bunch of cat videos. We could just put a bunch of pictures of Big Urs on there, and she'd just be laying by the door, like the daily Big Urs, and it's just a picture of her laying in the same spot every day.
I was kind of into doing like almost nudes.
And then we could just sell like our old socks.
Ooh.
I got a bunch of socks with holes in them. Well, I don't know. I got a bunch of holes in them and stuff.
Ooh, I don't use socks with holes in them. I think we're talking about something else.
I think we are too.
Maybe we should just move on.
Okay. You're listening to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 197. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to continue the arc of the good vibes by talking about one man, alone, betrayed by the country he loves. Sort of. Now hit our theme song! Hey Ryan, we're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
A whole bunch is going down, including the quality of my intros, it turns out.
Forgetting to say hi to everybody.
That is just not like me. It's like the first thing I do every time I see anybody.
Well, instead of saying hi to anybody, you're just like, you skip the formality. You skip the 3-letter, not even half a second formality of saying, hey. You're just like, you're fucking listening to Commander Cookout.
It's business Brando today, I guess.
Yep, BBO. Brando, business Brando out. Podcast.
So we got a lot of that.
Yep.
We've got some patrons to thank. A terrible movie. I want to thank all of the patrons for recommending to me. We got a good one this week. We got a really cool deck to talk about.
Yep.
With a couple of good recommendations. I think people are really going to like this one. And if people are into it, I think this could be one that we could bring back to deck giveaway. I think we could. I'm not promising anything, but it could happen.
Well, you know who could help make it happen? Hit them with the truth.
What?
Glorious new sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com.
Hey, yeah, we could buy all the cards from there using our promo code CCO Fusion 5.
That's it. So we've got a deck. We've got some patrons. And I really like this deck. When I seen it, it was a listener submission.
Wait, I'm going to read his architect name, and then you can tell them his real name.
Sure.
His architect name is Jimmy Sloan, which I don't think is his real name. And even if that is his real name, I refuse to acknowledge anybody by the name of Jimmy Sloan.
Well, is that a famous last name?
There's a band called Sloan. They were awful. I think they were awful. And there's people in the 90s that were into that shit.
Yeah, it's fine. His real name is like not really anything that is any more or less pseudo-famous sounding.
What is it?
Daniel Jackson. Not the DJ that you think. This is not your mother's DJ. This is Daniel Jackson that submitted Give Him a Read, the Commandy.
Oh, shit, we're starting. Oh, well, I guess we're going to talk about him.
Oh, yeah, we talk about the Commander, and then we read a whole bunch of other stuff and talk about things that aren't the Commander.
You could be in for some prizes if you guessed Chevill, Bane of Monsters.
Yeah, so the hints were he's relatively new, a.k.a. the fucking newest set.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Sorta. He's got a 3 in his text box. It's a he. And there are partner commanders in his color that you have never heard of, which were
Ikra Shadiki the Usurper.
Ikra Shadiki is somebody that we've talked about in the past.
Definitely have not ever in our lives heard that name. You either, probably.
Pretty sure I have.
I'm pretty sure that you have never heard of that card either.
Pretty sure I have.
It is that obscure, and that's why she's so goddamn low in the Commander thing. She is the lowest of all time.
She has 14 decks individually. Give Chevill a read. Oh, I was going to make a car joke because it's cruise weekend in Saskatoon. I was going to make a Chevill joke. This guy probably drives a Chevill. Maybe he's a Chevy guy. Give him a read. It has nothing to do with cards.
He's got his freaking vest open like a douche. He's got his jerkbag mustache. What a tool. Anyway, he's a 1/3 human rogue with Death Touch for black-green. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, you may put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. New paragraph. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and DAC.
That would be draw a card.
Yes, sir.
The good kind of DAC, not discard a card, which would be the bad kind. Unless it's for your opponent.
Yes.
In which case, reverse what we said there.
Basically, D'ing a C is always good.
Yeah, but don't Google that.
I'm sure you could Google. It's probably fine. What's the worst thing that could happen if somebody was to Google DSC?
Don't do it. So
you tell about some other stuff. I'm gonna Google DSC right now.
Well, let's break it down a little bit. We got a 2-mana commander in Golgari colors with Death Touch, 1/3, so he's a little bit small, but that's fine for 2 mana. At the beginning of whatever, if there's no bounty counters, we get a bounty counter on something, and then it's up to everybody on the whole planet's job to get rid of stuff with bounty counters on it. Right?
Yes. Well, in theory, because.
Well, if stuff just dies, we're going to draw a card and gain through.
DSC, man. Can't Google anything we say.
No. Hey, did you see on the Discord the meme they made of me?
Yeah.
With the eye flare? That was cool. We got to make a funny picture of you in a video so somebody can make a meme out of it.
Yeah, I got to have a meme of me, too.
Yes.
Meme of me.
Meme of me.
Meme of me.
Meme of me. Brando, meme of me wearing a muumuu.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Whatever.
Maybe you'll be Mimi from Drew Carey wearing a muumuu, Brando with makeup. That picture exists on the internet.
Yeah, there are pictures of me in makeup. I have definitely been in drag before.
All right. Well, speaking of drag, we've got some new patrons to thank.
Oh, got him.
Got him. First of all, we've got a couple increases.
Okay.
Patreon increases over on patreon.com/CCOPodcast. This guy's already got a nickname. Travis Conkey. He's the Conky Tonk Man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. T. Conk, and F you as well.
Now, this one, not a real name, already has a nickname, I think. Told us to call him something else.
What? He doesn't tell us what to.
Well, it might be a she. I have no idea what's happening. No idea.
What's the name, Ryan?
Riley Caesar Eller. Kind of sounds a little bit Lord of the Ringsy, hey?
Caesarella.
Caesarella. New nickname.
Gotcha.
I want Caesarella to be a restaurant that I go to. And it's just all black and white, like real Cruella de Vil kind of Disney villain vibe.
Ooh, and there's dogs?
There could be dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some, I was going to say like dog skin rugs, but that would be not very good.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Caesarella, you go there and you have Caesars. But instead of just having Caesars, you get like, remember what we were talking about? You get the big cup and you get a meal on the side of your Caesar. Like
your burger is on the spike that sticks out of the burger?
Yeah, the chicken wing Caesar, or like the charcuterie plate Caesar or whatever with cheese and meats and bacons and stuff all on it.
It's like a plate of nachos just on top of the Caesar.
Yes, the nacho Caesar.
Oh, man, that'd be sick, actually, if you had a tray or whatever, and then there was a Caesar underneath, and there was just like a straw hole that stuck out the top, and then your meal was on top?
Yes.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. I also want, that's Caesarella, that's my Caesar restaurant bar. Okay. I also had another idea for a bar, and this you can't steal this. I'm going to trademark this one.
Wait, we're not going to trademark the one that we would have to make specific dishes for and stuff? Like, we just invented 16 different things.
Okay. In Spanish, buenos noches is like good night.
Well, I think that meant good nachos.
No, I want to say buenos nachos. Good nachos. That's my restaurant. And just all different kinds of nachos plates. Like whatever kind of food you want, but nachos.
Like a burger nacho?
Yeah, nachos.
I got burgers on the brain right now.
Burger nachos, yeah. Chicken, like buffalo chicken nachos, barbecued nachos, steak nachos, Caesar nachos.
Sick.
Not to be confused with Nacho Caesar, which would be at Caesarella.
Yeah, or Caesar that isn't yours.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But yes, you would have to make the "this isn't your" joke about every plate at Buenos Nachos. Okay, those are the two increases.
Okay.
New patrons looking for nicknames.
I don't know why anybody wants these.
I don't know. First one, big shout out, thank you, and F you too. Aiden Miller.
Is that F.U. Aiden?
No, I checked the address. And that different last name. Unless he's lying about his address and his name.
He might be.
Well, probably. I wouldn't put it past him. Aiden Miller. Pseudo-celebrity brother to Miller Genuine Draft.
Like the beer?
Yes. I had one yesterday. In my garage. I was fixing a toy.
Huh.
With epoxy and mixing it on a magic card like I talked about on the pre-show.
I guess that works. Nothing really rhymes with...
That's fine.
Filler?
Oh, yeah. Aiden, all filler Miller. Genuine draft.
There we go.
There it is.
Because that's what's in Miller Genuine Draft is filler.
I like it. It's fine.
You drink dad beer and
I
nothing but dad beer.
Yeah,
my
that's
friend.
right. Okay, last one. And I'm sure there's silent things and letters that I don't even know how to pronounce, but big shout out to...
Gertrude.
No, well, close. Magnus Johansson. Kind of sounds like a magic card from the Legends expansion.
I like what I said better.
Gertrude Johansson.
Not just Gertrude.
Just Gertrude.
Yeah.
Gertie.
Just Gertrude. I want to see Gertrude show up in the Discord. I want to see a flurry of fuck you fingers. I want the whole thing to happen.
Well, I'm sure that already happened. But when people say, hey, I got my nickname, there's a bunch of middle finger emojis all the time too. So big shout out to all the Discord. Big shout out to all the new YouTube subs. I shouldn't say all of them. There isn't a whole ton of them.
But we appreciate you.
We do. I'm going to say our non-subscriber to subscriber ratio on YouTube, it's better.
Excellent.
But if you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, when this episode finally comes out on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. It helps the channel grow. We appreciate that very much.
We should get a Venn diagram. Those are the circles, right?
Yes.
And then like there's the not subscribers, and in the middle is watches CCO, and then we got to move the circles closer and closer.
Oh,
together.
yeah, until they're... I don't want to start talking about something else again.
No, but we're on camera.
You're still... Yes.
I'm still doing it.
Become that. Become two circles that I can put my finger in at the same time.
Yeah.
Same finger. Don't know how that works. CCO movie recommendation. Hit us with some more truth.
So after last week when everybody recommended to me a movie that actually turned out to be pretty good, I had to take something that I knew
would be terrible.
I knew would be awful because that's how I live my life. And I went back to the company that did Evil Bong. And I didn't watch their Evil Bong, but I watched Gary Busey vehicle Ginger Dead Man. Gary Busey.
What is the name of the movie?
Ginger Dead Man.
Oh, okay. Ginger Dead Man. Yeah. I've heard about that movie.
And it's Gary Busey as a guy that's like knocking over a diner, and he just murders a whole bunch of people, and then they fry him at the electric chair, and he gets, what do you call it when you burn a body? Cremated.
Yep.
And then his mom delivers his cremated ashes to a bakery where the daughter survives, and then his ashes gets mixed in with the cinnamon, and then some kid like gets a paper cut that gushes like he cut his hand off and bleeds in all of the cinnamon, and they're like, well, we bled in the cinnamon, let's bake cookies out of it. And so they make this enormous gingerbread cookie that comes to life, and the cookie drives a car, and the cookie shoots a fucking huge gun that never runs out of ammo.
Do cookies have fingers?
No, he just carries it under his arm like this and like does like the fart sound with your elbow, except instead of a fart coming out, it's a bullet. And he's a terrible shot, and it's a good ass movie. I highly recommend Ginger Dead Man to anybody.
I like it.
Yeah, and there's also like Cookie Brains, and there's a pro wrestling baker that calls themselves the Butcher Baker. I wanted him to call himself the Butcher of Bakersfield and be played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but we can't always get what we want.
I was gonna make a Witcher reference, the Butcher of Bakerkin instead of Blaviken.
Oh, is that from The Witcher?
Yes. Haven't you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it's good, so you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to remember that shit.
All right.
Harvey Keitel can be hot somewhere else.
It's not his name, but let's continue going. Let's just go. So, thank the patrons. Did the movie recommendation. We've got a deck. Big thank you to Not Your Mother's DJ, Daniel Jackson.
Yeah.
Should we do a deck?
I guess. All right, so today's deck, where should we start? We are on Architect, so we have those super cool custom categories-ish.
Yeah.
He's grouped things together for us, so that's something. Where should we start? Should we start with the creatures?
Well, yeah.
I want to start with the creatures. Let's start with the creatures.
The creatures. Well, you know what one of them is in Chevill, Bane of Monsters already. Beginning of our upkeep, we put a bounty counter on something. If it doesn't have any bounty counters, when it dies, we draw a card, gain 3 life, right?
I think it's if there's no other bounty counters.
Yes,
you can only
that's
get
right.
one per turn.
He only hunts things one at a time.
Yeah, and that's horse shit. So we want to
Yeah,
that
now give it a read specifically because I believe it says when a creature with a bounty counter on it
Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, gain 3 life, draw a card.
Oh, okay. So let's take a look at another creature. Our first creature in Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter is a 2/2 minion for black 2, and it has 2 abilities. 1, tap, put a bounty counter on target non-black creature. And tap, destroy target creature with any bounty counters on it.
Ooh.
So it allows us to do what Chevill does better than Chevill does it.
It lets us double up on something. It lets us double up on number of bounty counters that we can distribute per turn, let's call it.
Well, it would replace, in theory, because if you use the bounty hunter to put a bounty counter, then Chevill wouldn't.
Well, no, you do it in the opposite order. You let Chevill's ability resolve, and then you put a bounty counter on something else. Let's say after you do that, you cast a sweeper. 2 things would die. We would draw 2 cards and gain 6 life.
Or hypothetically, you could put the bounty counter on with Chevill and then just use the bounty hunter to kill the thing.
That is probably the ideal way. That's right, because you've got a kill spell every turn that's going to allow you to gain 3 life and draw 2 cards a turn. It's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
It's pretty good. 2-card little, not combo, but synergy. And Chevill on 2 and Bounty Hunter on 4, right? Black 2?
Yeah, and that ends the creature suite for the deck. There are no more creatures.
That's it.
That's it.
And in the pre-show, we teased on the Commander Cookout YouTube page, go there and subscribe. We teased that we liked this deck and we think that people would like it because this deck seems like a very CCO deck in that I would build a deck like this.
And this thing is balls to the wall.
Oh,
also.
yeah.
Like, you have... This could go really poorly for you if you...
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
When we get to strengths and weaknesses, we're going to talk about that a little bit. But just let everybody at home know how many land are in this deck.
33.
33. That is like CEDH level of number of land. Well, I don't know if we'd call it CEDH up in here, but...
Yeah. But hey, we're trying.
Yeah, so...
Let's move into let's do the value stuff first.
Okay,
There's some cool ass cards in here. There's some regular stuff. Let's start with Strionic Resonator.
Strionic Resonator is copy target triggered ability. That's like 2 and tap, and you copy a triggered ability. And that would be copying at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a bounty counter on something, right?
Yeah.
Or it would copy when the bounty counter thing dies. Draw 2, gain 6.
Also good.
Also good. I don't know if you can actually copy the first one because it might check when it tries to resolve if there's a counter on anything else. So you would copy the draw 2 thing.
Yeah, and that has to do
Either
with-
way, it ends up being kind of the same effect.
It does the same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit, different day. We have Green Curiosity in 6th Sense.
Yeah, enchanted creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay.
We've got Sign in Blood, Read the Bones, Night Whisper, and I think Casting of Bones. That's the same thing. No, it doesn't. Those 3 things are all lose 2, draw 2, chuck 2, do 2, bunch of shit. Revel in Riches.
Revel in Riches. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, we get a treasure that we can sacrifice for mana. That's an enchantment for 5.
And if at the beginning of your upkeep you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game.
I always forget that part.
Yeah, I think lots of people forget that, but that's good stuff.
I think that lots of people either forget that part or the first part. It's like, that card does 2 things, everyone.
How about Hunter's Prowess?
Ooh, this is okay. 5 mana sorcery. Until end of turn, target creature gets +3/+3 and trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. So we've kind of seen a little bit of a trend thus far in when we're dealing damage, we're drawing cards.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the card drawing section, so we're going to keep going with that along with Hunter's Insight.
This kind of does the same thing, except it's an instant for 3 mana. So we're not getting any pump or trample, but whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards.
Or Planeswalker.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so we can off some Planeswalkers. Okay, fine. Now, we are looking at like casting those on Chevill, I suppose, right?
With this 1 power.
Yeah.
Ooh, draw 1.
Okay, well, we'll have to see what is to come, I guess.
Agreed. We'll have to keep going in the deck. We've got the deck's Tutor and a Diabolic Tutor.
All right, that's budget tutor. It's almost $2 now, though, hey? It's 4 mana, search for a card. It's fine.
I'm surprised it costs that much.
Really?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I am a little bit too.
Because it's been reprinted in so many sets, and there are so many cards that are just better than it.
Hey, I got one for you.
Like,
I got one for you.
Okay.
In random deck that includes black,
Sure.
you want Grim Tutor or Diabolic Tutor? And keep in mind, I'm asking because Grim Tutor still has like that $25 or whatever dollar price tag. Is the 1 mana in Grim Tutor in the random deck that includes black, is it worth saving, $25, $22?
If you're looking at it as from a finance perspective, you obviously always play Diabolic Tutor. But in most cases, you probably want to play Grim Tutor because you can play it on turn 1 with the Dark Ritual if you really want to.
Or on turn 3 just by curving out.
Yeah.
What if your commander costs 3? Do you want Diabolic Tutor? Or you still want Grim Tutor maybe on turn 5 with a 2-drop up or something?
Yeah, then you can get the thing and play it.
Ooh, yeah.
Grim Tutor's just better than Diabolic Tutor.
I suppose.
But whatever. I mean, you're playing what you're playing. I'm just surprised it costs fucking $2. Death Reap Ritual is the next card.
Okay, this is another something with something dying and drawn or something, right? Okay, enchantment for 4. It's got Morbid. So at the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, that's what
Each.
if a creature. Oh, at the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, draw a card.
That's a good ass card.
Yeah, that's if any number of creatures dies, draw 1 card.
Yes.
But it's each turn.
But it's each, so like on any combat.
Maximum of 4 extra cards per round.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I think that card's overlooked. It's like, it costs 4, it doesn't do anything. It draws you probably 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, my commandy has Death Touch, and if it's got a little bit of pump on it, like it might,
Yeah.
block and I'll draw a card, or like die. Those are your options.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I dig it.
I don't mind it.
How about Casting of Bones?
Casting of Bones, and the next one, what did you call it?
Bequeathal.
Bequeathal? That is a dirty sounding card.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, sort of. If enchanted creature dies, draw 3 cards, then discard a card in Casting of Bones, which is like, that's lots of cards.
The 3 cards is several cards.
Yeah.
And you have to discard one of the 3 that you drew, right?
I'm okay. Yes.
Yeah. So that's
No,
still
no,
fun.
no, no. Sorry. No, you can discard one that's in your hand.
Okay.
Yes.
It's weird wording.
And Bequeathal, dirty Bequeathal, is draw 2 cards when the creature dies. That's kind of like Skull Clamp, except it doesn't kill it for you.
Shitty Skull Clamp.
Shitty green Skull Clamp. I like those cards, especially in a Golgari deck that typically cares about the graveyard, especially Casting of Bones, where we can put something strategically into our graveyard.
Yeah. And I guess this one you can use to enchant an opponent's creature and then draw some cards, right?
Bequeathal.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Exodus special, hey?
Exodus had some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what do we want to talk? Do we want to talk about our guy being big? Or do we want to talk about how we're going to kill all these other dudes? Or do we want to talk about what we're going to do to keep people from killing our only dude?
Wow, there's like weird categories in here. I don't know which. That's just weird. How about the Control-Tron type stuff? So we talked about a couple ways that, like, when creatures die or something, right? Or doubling abilities. This is what the deck is going to try and do. This is like, these next couple sections are what we're going to do.
Yes. So we're going to make our one creature bigger and better than a 1/3.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it with the next bunch of cards, starting with Vow of Wildness.
And keep in mind, we got to remember, because you and I forgot this when we were going over the deck a couple times, Chevill has Death Touch natively.
Yes.
So if anything blocks him, or if he fights or deals damage, they just die.
Correct.
Okay, and if they're enchanted with something like Bequeathal, when they die, we draw cards.
Yeah.
Okay. Vow of Wildness. +3, trample, enchanted creature can't attack us or planeswalkers we control. We don't have any planeswalkers, though, right?
No.
Okay.
Hypothetically could be used as a, air quotes, removal spell as well, but it's probably going to enchant our dude and get some beats in. How about Vorak Battlehorns?
Oh, what in the actual? This is a common from Mirrodin. I didn't even remember this card exists. 2 to cast, 1 to equip. A creature has trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So you can't chump gang block him if he's got lots of toughness, and you just smash in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
And you're going to see, we're going to have the ability to smash in with enchantments like our next one, Holy Strength, +2/+1 for just black. We've got a bunch of stuff that's just 1 mana, 2 mana, or 7 mana and kills our opponent.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, how about Tree Folk Umbra?
Tree Folk Umbra. It gives it totem armor, which is if it's going to die or it took lethal damage, just remove the damage and get rid of the destroy effect, and then sacrifice the Umbra. So we've got a couple Umbras in Tree Folk, Spider, and Snake.
And Boar.
And Boar. And they give pump and trample, or pump and hit you, draw a card, whatever. They give you Umbra. That's the important part.
Yes. Well, Tree Folk Umbra also gives them Doran damage. They deal damage with their ass instead of their fist.
Oh, yeah, butt damage. So it's like he becomes a 3/3 sort of, right?
He becomes a 5/5. Because it also makes his ass bigger.
Yeah, it makes his ass big. He does some squats or something. Gets some injections.
Yeah, dude.
Gets some implants.
How about Talons of Wildwood?
Oh, what the fuck? This is okay, sure. This is a comment from M19. Has anybody... The same people that have heard of Bequeathal have heard of this card.
Yes, and those people are probably limited to the ones who built this deck.
Or Dana Roach. Oh, man. So this is not Manolith. This is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has trample, and you can return it from your graveyard to your hand for green 2. So you can buy this enchantment back if it's just randomly in your graveyard. Maybe you discard it with your bone card.
Your bone.
Casting of Bones.
Yeah. All right, then we got Swiftfoot Boots. Everybody knows that one.
Yeah.
Spider Umbra is an Umbra, gives +1/+1 and reach. Snake Umbra is an Umbra, it gives +1/+1 and Ophidian. And I'll just do the other Umbra as well. It's Boar Umbra. It gives +3, I believe. +3/+3 totem armor.
That's it.
Out the way. And along we go to Skeletal Grimace.
Oh, yeah, that's a funny kind of art, hey? Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has regenerate. Yeah. Now, don't forget when you regenerate for a black mana, you do have to tap that creature, and regenerate doesn't stop sacrifice effects.
Important.
It's been updated sort of, not functionally, but sort of to indestructible. That's kind of what has replaced regenerate.
Skeletal Grimace also marks our weekly Brando challenges Ryan to do a funny altar. I want to see this card, but with Grimace from McDonald's, the big purple taste bud guy, except as a skeleton.
Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's a taste bud.
What?
That's what I've heard. I have read in sources that he is a taste bud. I always thought that he was a rancid chicken nugget. Turns out he is a taste bud.
Oh. Somebody wiki that, I guess.
That's some shit, but that's what everybody wants to see on the Facebook page every Thursday. Ryan Alters.
There it is.
All right, next up we have Sadistic Glee. I like this one.
Ooh, gives a creature vampire. So whenever a creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on the enchanted creature.
Sick.
Yeah, so that is whenever any creature is put into any graveyard from the battlefield, our guy just gets bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Alenda. That gives Alenda vampire.
Ooh, yeah.
There it is. That's what that is. I should play that in Alenda.
Yes.
That's like doubling season in Alenda.
You really should play that in Alenda.
That's good.
Oh, man. Okay, next up we have Ring of Zathrid and Ring of Colonia.
Those are equipments. They give a bonus to green creature, bonus to black creature, and they equip for 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if enchanted creature is black, gets +1. Enchanted creature is green, +1. And I don't know what their actual abilities. Trample and regenerate, right?
Yeah.
Got there.
What the fuck? Why can't I read this word? Rancor.
Rancor.
Jesus Christ, Brando.
The one that everybody was waiting on.
Yeah, everybody knew
Is
this was
Rancor
coming.
in this deck? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I just can't read it.
There it is. After Rancor, we have Predator's Gambit.
+2/+1, just for black, just like Rancor was green, and we've had a couple Spider Umbra just for green, for example, Unholy Strength. This is +2/+1 like Unholy Strength, and enchanted creature has Intimidate as long as its controller controls no other creatures. So that means it could only be blocked by creatures that share a color with it and artifact creatures. So this is improved Holy Strength.
Is it strictly better on Holy Strength? At this point, it's just better.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it
it's
gives
the
it
exact same card, but it's more stuff.
Yeah.
How about Mask of Avacyn?
+1/+2 and hexproof on an equipment.
How about Instill Energy?
Oh, this is an oldie. Okay. Gives enchanted creature haste, right? Or just lets it attack as though it has haste.
Yeah, it can. I don't know if can you activate its abilities, or can you just only attack with it? That's a card that needs some fucking errata.
How about we read the errata on this one? Enchanted creature can attack as though it had haste. So no abilities here. Okay. And 0, untap enchanted creature. Activate this ability only during your turn and only once each turn. So it lets a creature attack as though it had haste, and you can untap it one time to give it like pseudo vigilance.
That'd be good with our other creature, that bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, that's probably why it's in there.
You could pop a bounty counter onto a thing and then pop a bounty counter onto another thing.
It's also good with Chevill because remember, when he regenerates, he taps. So you could instill energy him and untap him, and then he can be a blocker. Because remember, he's got death touch and 3 toughness, so no chip-ins on the Chevill player.
Instill energy might also work good if we hit him with a colossification.
Oh, you went there?
I did.
You went there? Okay.
All the way there.
Green 5. Enchanted creature gets plus 20. Plus 20. But you do tap enchanted creature. So instill energy is a little combo. If somebody's open and you're just like, it's like mid-game, late game, you're like, ooh, nobody's scared of Chevill, hey? Boom! Make them 21 power. Boom! Untap them. You're dead.
Now, do you hold them both in your hand and wait for the opening, and then play the colossification? Everybody laughs, ho ho, I won't leave myself open again, ho ho ho, and then you put the instill energy on them and just wreck somebody's whole life?
That's what I do.
That's 100% what I do too.
That's how I like to play Magic. No fucking around here. Okay, I told you were going to die. You're going to die.
I like this card a lot, and it's Inner Demon.
Inner Demon. This is a battle bonder, hey?
Yep.
So this is black 2 enchantment. Enchant aura creature. +2/+2 is a demon and flies. Okay, and Inner Demon enters the battlefield. All non-demons get -2/-2 until end of turn.
So it's a sweeper for dorks, or maybe their land, if you play cards like I do.
Yes, that would work. That would work. Of note, Chevill would get -2/-2.
No, because he's a demon.
Oh, because it makes him a demon. Yeah. Okay.
Super sick. I love the art on Frog Tongue.
Frog Tongue. I probably have 7,000 of these, or had.
Sweet. It's going to be included with the draw then. Unless you threw them all away.
I don't know where they are.
If you have an extra one that's got a bunch of epoxy paste on it, we'll send it out.
You might need some sandpaper to make that sleeve playable. This is an enchant creature for green. There it is again. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card.
Cool.
Okay, so it replaces itself. And enchanted creature can block creatures with flying, so it gives it reach.
That's not why we're playing it, though. We're playing it because that picture is amazing. You need to look it up right now, because that is old school as old school can get, and it is super funny.
Yeah, that's a Phil Foglio art.
I really like that a lot. All right, next up we've got significantly less cool art on Eternal Thirst.
I think it's fine. Enchant creature for 2 mana. Enchanted creature has lifelink. Okay, it's fine. Whenever whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1 on this creature. So there's another one for Alendi.
It's cool.
And she already has lifelink, though. That makes creatures Alenda. That's what that one does.
Neat.
There it is.
How about Demonic Embrace?
This is a standard card, right?
I guess so. Screw this card.
Enchant creature gets +3/+1, has flying, is a demon. Okay. You may cast it from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card.
And paying for it.
Yeah, so essentially, all that shit that Chevill does, draw a card, gain 3 life, if you want your Demonic Embrace to get like your Chevill back, because you don't want to pay tax on them, or your Bounty Hunter because it's your only creature. That's what you do. Okay.
Sure.
It's good in this one.
How about Chitinous Cloak?
Chitinous Cloak. I didn't even know this card existed. Just kidding, I designed it. Just kidding, I didn't.
I designed it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Equipment for 3 to equip, +2/+2, and Menace.
The hell does that mean?
Means it can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures.
Sure.
It's Death Touch is 2 guys. It's good.
It's fine.
Oh, hey, what if you only have 1 creature and it has my bounty counter on it, and then I attack you with Colossified Chevill, and you have to block with 2 things? I kill both of them. That's good.
I guess. What about Bladed Bracers?
All right, I play this in Mistform Ultimates. 1 to cast, 2 to equip. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 as long as it's a human or an angel, and it is. So is Mistform Ultimates. It gets Vidge.
I've got a Blade of the Butt Cheek.
Oh, I play this in Mistform Ultimates too. 1 to cast, 1 to equip. Whenever a creature dies, you put a +1 on it. If equipped creature is a vampire, which it isn't, you get 2 +1s. It's fine. It's
works.
fine. It's fine because it does like those demonic or eternal thirst type things at the same mana cost. Yeah.
Another one with some rad art on it. And the last one in the section, Alpha Authority.
Yeah, is that your boy, Mr. Rigmos? I think it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. He's a tough looking guy.
I would not want to do a sit-up competition against him. He'd
No,
probably...
or an arm wrestling competition, or a smashing rocks on my own head competition.
Especially that one. I can only do 2 or 3, and then I'm just tired.
Yep. I would not want to be in any type of contest.
No.
The card, Alpha Authority, green 1, enchanted creature has hexproof? Hexproof. And can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So that's like Oppo Menace.
Yeah.
Opes. I can't do it.
I don't know. Who cares? Let's go to the next section.
Sure.
We're in the no touchy section. We're going to clump the whole thing because they all basically do the same thing. Are you ready, Ryan?
I am ready. Let's read one of them.
Which one?
The first one.
Blossoming Defense.
Read it.
Blossoming Defense is an instant for green. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains hexproof till end of turn.
Okay, so Blossoming Defense, Mortal's Resolve, Ranger's Guile, Rush of Vitality, Sheltering Ward, Unlikely Aid, and Withstand Death. All 1 or 2 mana. All give either hexproof, indestructible, and or pump.
Correct.
So these are to counter a removal spell on Chevill, or to by giving him hexproof or making him indestructible so he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Okay. You could play something like, regenerate target creature in there as well, but it does tap him.
Yeah, balls that.
And some of those do pump, so they're good.
They're just good cards, yeah.
And the indestructible makes it so he can block too and kill something that might have a bounty counter on it.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, he blocks, and they're like, "Oh, sucker! Oh, well, your guy blocks or like dies too because my guy has death touch. Withstand death. Give him indestructible. You just die. No, I don't.
Sick.
That's good.
Sick. All right, let's do the control portion. We've talked about killing creatures. How are we going to do that? It's with all of these cards, but not this first one because it's willed.
Well, if it's an artifact creature, or if it's an enchantment creature, because those decks do exist.
They do.
Yeah, wilt destroys an artifact or enchantment, cycles. Also cycles for 2, sure.
Victim of Night.
2 mana, destroys a non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie.
Hella sick art.
Yeah.
Vendetta.
Destroys a creature, a non-black creature, we lose life equal to its toughness.
He plays one from Masks. That's excellent. Tragic Slip.
-1 to a creature, but if any creature died this turn, -13 to that creature instead.
Never liked that one.
I like that one.
I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't. It just isn't. It doesn't speak to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
-13 on something indestructible is pretty good, and I have an altered one with one of those little wedge board like "careful wet floor" signs.
How about Ruinous Path?
Destroy a creature or a planeswalker or awaken 4 for 7 mana. That is, pay 7 mana, make a land a 4/4. Hey, there's another creature.
Do you ever do that?
I'd rather get like a Narset or a Jace or something. I'd rather kill.
Like I'd rather just rock somebody for
Maybe
3.
kill a Liliana or something. Hey,
Because you know what's going to happen when you make your land into a 4/4? The person whose thing you just killed is going to just turn around and kill your stupid swamp.
yeah. Maybe put the bounty counter on my swamp and draw some cards.
How about Return to Nature?
Destroy an artifact or an enchantment or exile a card from a graveyard.
We can't Google this next one, but I am going to read it anyway. Ram through.
Ram through. We fight, and any additional damage goes to their head.
If the creature had trample.
Yes, and our creature would because lots of our enchantments give him trample.
Like that one. Rabid Bite.
Rabid Bite. Probably can't Google that either.
Yeah.
That is It's kind of like fight. Hey, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. That's half of fight.
Yeah. And since our boy has Death Touch, it's like bullying.
You know what? That turns into like sorcery speed, like terror or go for the throat.
Yeah, round through is the same thing. It's just...
Yeah, and just of note, we are playing go for the throat and Doomblade.
Yeah.
So those are just more...
And Putrefy.
Yep.
That's
Putrefy,
another...
that's creature or artifact, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cannot be regenerated. Nature's Way.
Nature's Way. This is fight? Target creature you control gains Vig and Trample until end of turn. It deals damage to its power to another target creature you don't control. So again, half fight.
It's just bullying.
Yeah.
Bullying. It has bully. How about Death Sprout?
Oh, I like this card. This card is a card that I like. Save for the Seb McKinnon art.
Yeah.
Green, black, 1. Instant. Destroy target creature straight up. Then search your library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. I like that. Hey, would you... Here's a question. 3 mana Cultivate. You're going to play that card, right?
No.
Oh. How about Kodama's Reach?
Yeah.
Okay, Kodama's Reach at 3. Or 1 extra mana, kill a creature. Death Sprout. Get your land.
Both are good.
Both are good.
Yeah. Both are fun. Clear Shot.
Target creature you control gets +1. It deals damage to its power to a creature you don't control.
If you want to read that in CCOEs, it's target creature gets +1/+1 and bullies target creature.
There it is.
There it is. Bontu's Last Reckoning.
Now, this is our only sweeper. Maybe because it's 3. Maybe because...
Maybe he hates playing commander tax. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but destroy all creatures. Lands you control don't tap during your next untap step. That's weird. Like, we've got a whole ton of instant speed interaction that we would just leave our mana up, but if we end up spending it on not our turn, we still don't get to use it. I guess we do still get to give out bounty counters if creatures die, right?
Yeah.
So...
I mean, you
okay.
gotta have eventually you're gonna run into a token strategy, and you've only got the 2 sweepers in here, so you gotta...
What's the other one?
The demon inside, or the internal demon...
Demonic
demon?
and Inner Demon. Yeah, that's
Demon.
right. Okay, yeah. Maybe, okay.
So maybe,
And you know what? Yeah, Bontu's Last Reckoning does let us regenerate, and we have seen a few instances of that. Okay.
well, Blood Curdle.
Ooh, destroy target creature. Straight up. Put a menace counter on a creature you control.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means he can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures.
Sure. There's a beast within.
Hey, that's another one of our creatures if we kill our own guy. Maybe we make a land into a creature, then we kill it and make it into a 3/3.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
No, it's still a land, though.
Sure.
How about Assassin... Or, wait, no. Ass Trophy.
Ass-in's trophy.
Not just Ass Trophy.
Ass
Ass-in Trophy.
Yes.
There we go.
Better than the other way around. This is an instant for green-black. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller search their library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped.
Not tapped.
Not tapped?
Not tapped.
Oh, I was going to say this is like destroy target thing to exile. Except it's not putting it in exile and it's not tapped. And this is the most expensive card in the deck. We'll talk about that in the budget
It's
section.
the second most expensive card in the deck.
Is it?
Yeah, Shizo's Death Storehouse cost more.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that in the budget section in a couple minutes here.
All right, second to last card in the deck, we have an Ambuscade? What the hell is that?
Ambuscade. That's how I would read that.
And there's a dog man wrestling an alligator that has a unicorn horn. What the fuck is happening here, man? What world are we in?
Maybe they got Salvador Dali to paint that.
That is messed up, dude.
This is an instant for Grishu. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to a creature you don't control. So,
Bullies target creature.
bully's a thing after you pump it.
And the last card in the deck, I'm sure everybody was like salivating, thinking, ooh, super secret tech. Well, our boy beat you to it and did put a Tainted Strike in the deck.
Ooh, +1/+0, so we're pumping and give an infect.
It turns a big beater your opponent controls into the death knell for your opponent, or just lets us use our boys to crash in and win.
Yeah, so we draw cards, and in those draw cards are like a bunch of pump and fight cards. Pump and fight, and it's like, ooh, I pumped and fighted all your guys to death. Guess I'll just kill you now with infect, right? So it allows you to turn your kind of trivial pump and fight cards or your trivial like Vow of Wildness and Spider Umbra into just kill you if you don't have the mana for a Colossification, or if you've got, enough cards.
Or you don't have a Colossification yet.
Yeah, realistically, like if you want to pump and fight and then Tainted Strike all the way up to 10 damage, you're probably going to spend 6 or 7 mana. Just like if you're going to spend like the 7 mana on Colossification. The difference is you're doing it all in one card, and you're not getting anybody out of the way by fighting them with the other fight cards. So kind of 2 paths to victory there, all while Chevilling, gaining life, drawing cards. This is probably the kind of deck you don't really care if you take some damage, because Chevill's going to draw you cards. You've got your Eternal Thirst. You've got your Bounty Hunter to get double kind of life gains off of Chevill. You don't care if you only have one blocker that you're never going to fucking block with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does that sound like a strength and weakness kind of thing?
I think so. I think it does. First weakness.
Okay.
There's no Casualties of War.
Ooh.
You should play Casualties of War. I know it costs a bazillion.
Yeah, pretty heavy on a 33 mana deck.
But it's a good card, man.
That is going to get you at least a bounty counter too, because you strategically put a bounty counter on that thing that you know that you want to get with your casualty.
And then you casualty it, and you get a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah,
it's just a good ass
maybe
card.
other blockers or whatever, that Mesa Ith that's stopping you from hitting that one guy.
Yeah,
because
there's going to be stuff like that's just going to stop you, and you need a way of getting rid of it. And Casualties of War is a really good one.
The power level of that card is very high. I think weakness. I know that the mana curve in this deck is very low. It's very tight, but 33 is not very much. And if you wanted to play any of those high-end, high-power cards, you'd want a couple more land.
Yeah.
Flipping back over to the strengths, we talked about those 2 paths to victory, multiple ways. Strength.
Yep.
Instant kills in Infect if you've kind of sculpted the game, or just a straight up instant kill for a player in Colossification. And if it's late game, like it probably is, if nobody's kind of sandbagging that removal, you just untap and kill somebody else. Untap, kill somebody else. Or just regenerate your guy. Jumping back to weakness. Meta deck. If your friends know what's going on,
you are in for a world of pain, man. And that's the weakness I wanted to talk about too. And it's going to sound like, the deck isn't good, because the deck is fun, the deck is awesome, but if you play it too much, you are going to run into Cheville's not going to stick around, and then every card in the deck is basically dead. Do you add more mana so you can pay the Chevill tax? Or do you prioritize, or maybe even prioritize hands, starting hands, or just add more regenerate indestructible hexproof cards? Do you just add more stuff to protect them? It's hard to say. Eventually, somebody's going to Kenrith's Transformation him, or they're going to turn him into an indestructible bug with no abilities. Or frog. And you're fucked. Yeah. I mean, you do have enchantment removal and all that stuff, but and you do have removal for your own guy, but then if he's a creature, you just kill it, and then you have to cast it again, though. Yes, and then you're running into the mana issue again, right? The lack of mana is a real thing, and while you are drawing lots of cards, you probably are going to draw into your mana as well as you're going to draw into your Tainted Strikes and your Colossifications and all the removal and all that stuff. But man, you could be, when you get up to paying 8 for Chevill, and when people know that your whole deck revolves around having Chevill in play, he's just not going to stick around for very long. Yep. I do like decks that heavily rely on the commander, though, because it does inform your decision, that sculpts gameplay, it sculpts board states into these weird things where it's like, can't land my commander, gotta keep up these 6 removal spells in my hand. Right? And you end up with being able to play stupid crap like Bounty Hunter. Yeah. Bounty Hunter in any other situation, it's like, what the fuck are you playing this for? But here, it's awesome. Whenever there's a card that says Bounty Counter on it, Bounty Hunter, like Didgeridoo and Minotaurs, just skyrockets for a week, and then it goes back down to, 50% higher than it used to be. Yeah. Every time. It's a $9 card. It's one of the most expensive cards in the set, but we're keeping it in because we have to. You got to have it because you need those extra win paths somehow. Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of second most expensive card and the final strength, deck is super budget, $103, right? Yeah. $103, and we talked about Shizo Death Storehouse. It taps for a black, or you can tap black
and it to give target creature fear until end of turn, which means it can only be blocked by black and artifact creatures.
I knew that one.
You pump Chevill, you give him Infect, or you pump him and you give him Colossify him, and it's an instant kill with Shizo, but it's $15. That could be a swamp.
It could be I guess the Rogue's Passage is already in here, but it could be a swamp.
Yeah,
or a forest.
You know what? Yeah, make it a card that searches for a land, and then just go and find your Rogue's Passage. This just does it for a little bit cheaper, provided your opponents aren't playing black. That's fine. Other expensive ones, Woodland Cemetery. That's the check land.
Yes.
Enters the battlefield tapped unless you already control a swamp or a forest. Well, just look at your mana requirements, swamp or forest. Save yourself $6. Revel in Riches, $5.50. It's funny, $5.50 is one of the most expensive cards.
Yeah.
Are we going to win off of that card? Is that another strength, another line to victory, or are we going to use the mana from the treasures?
I think that you might try and win off of that, and it is acceleration, so it does both. So I think we keep that in. I don't cut that card.
Do you go? Oh, I was going to say Bontu's Last Reckoning next turn, or Revel in Riches, then Bontu's Last Reckoning, and then play Chevill, like on consecutive turns, because then you got your commander, and there's a whole bunch of treasures.
I'd sit there being all pouty because my guys died 18 times, and I'd wait for it to be the guy before me's turn, and of course he's tokening like mad, and I just have my Revel in Riches in play, and I got nothing going on because my whole deck sucks, and then I drop that, what is it? Not Route. Isn't there an instant speed black, kill all the things? What the hell card am I thinking about?
Route?
Is it Route I'm thinking of?
I don't know. That's white.
Damn it. I thought there was a black one too.
Is Black Sun Zenith? Is that a sorcery?
I don't know.
What's
CCONation, what's the instant black kill everything thing? Anyway, I'd play that and then just win the game.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I love winning the game.
Hell yeah. Winning the game is the best thing you can do except for drawing cards and playing Frog Tongue. I just can't get enough of that.
That's
that
it.
picture's
That's
awesome.
it. So Final Cut, Assassin's Trophy, $14. Like put Terror in. Just put anything else in to save yourself $14. You do all that, $40 in cuts, which seems trivial, marginal.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the cuts we make. You know, you cut one dual end. And it's $1,000. $63.
Shit, yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I think we were saying on the pre-show, or was it on earlier in the show, that this might be the kind of deck that we want to give away just because it's like a fun-ass deck. It's very CCO, and it's cheap, and there's a lot of room for upgrades, better removal spells, or better mana base if you've got like, you know, shock land or a fetch land or something, right?
And there's tons of stuff in here where if you wanted to one day not play it anymore, you want to break it down, there's tons of stuff in here that goes in lots of other decks.
Pretty much all of the no-touching control cards, Blossoming Defense and Withstand Death, those are green counter spells in casual EDH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very good. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. It all comes together in one really interesting little package.
I like it. We're going to try something here now that we haven't done in a little while, but people have been asking about it.
Oh, do you mean card of the week?
I do. And remember, everybody, you can get your card of the week at FusionGamingOnline.com. Use CCO Fusion 5 promo code at checkout. Get yourself 5% off all MTG singles. If you don't want to buy singles, though, you can buy sealed product. Just make sure you put a little note to the vendor. CCO Podcast sent us. They're legit dudes. Pretty cool. Would drink beer with them. 10 out of 10. Something like that.
Yeah, and then the little FU finger emoji. That's a good one.
Can you put finger emojis like in the vendor checkouts?
I assume
suppose
so.
if you're checking out online with your phone.
If people are real savvy, I'll bet you that they can do it. I can't do it because I'm a Luddite, but I'm sure there are people out there who can do it.
There it is.
Yeah.
So big thanks to Fusion. Big thanks to all of CCO Nation that helps the show grow and supports us with maybe picking up card of the week. What's the card this week?
The card of the week this week, Ryan, is Brash Taunter, who does not appear in this list, but he super should because there aren't that many creatures and there needs to be more, and we could just totally revamp the whole thing, get my man Taunter in there.
Got it. Switch out Chevill, play Vivictus Asmati. Add a bunch of mana, bunch of tutors, search for Chevill, and then get Vivictus Asmati to make the bounty counter card sacrifice so we draw a card and gain 3 life. And we could stack the triggers maybe, so we could like flip first with Vivictus and then...
Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah, okay.
There it is. See?
And then because we're playing red, we could play Brash Taunter, who would fit into this deck because he's indestructible.
Yes, and he fights.
And he fights. That would work perfectly.
Perfect.
Oh, well, if we didn't want that.
If you didn't want to do that,
What's the card of the week?
I think it's another card that isn't in the deck, but
What
really
the
should
fuck?
be. It really should be.
Okay.
And I don't know why it's not. And it's Bear Umbra. It does everything that the deck wants to do. It gives +2/+2. Whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. So it gets around Bontu's Last Reckoning.
Oh.
It lets you play a bunch of stuff onto your Chevill, make him giant, then swing in and untap all your stuff so that you're ready to do some insta fighting.
Yeah,
and
some
insta
pumps
removing.
and yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why it's not here. Maybe our man just didn't have one.
Well, it's
Maybe he
$9. Look at the price.
I suppose, but it's the benefits to having it in the deck are so high.
Yeah.
Are so damn high. You just cut Boar Umbra, put this in instead. Easy cut.
The benefits of this card are too damn high.
Exactly.
Well, Bear Umbra, there it is. Card of the week. I like it.
Eek, 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 eek. Should
All
we
right.
go on to the spice calculator?
Let's do it. Get this. I'm going through doing the spice calculator count up on EDHREC.com. I'm comparing cards in our list compared to the stock page for Chevill on EDHREC.com.
Okay.
And I'm seeing all these awesome upgrades. Veil of Summer and Abrupt Decay and Golgari Charm. All these great cards that could go in this deck.
Casualty of War?
Casualties of War was on there. Windgrace's Judgment is in there.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about
you
that
like
one.
that one.
I like that one lots.
So, lots of great upgrades for this deck, if need be. Punch it all in. 46 different cards in our list. I'm scrolling through the creature section. I'm just like, yeah, pass. Because Bounty Hunter was like up in the signature cards or whatever.
Right.
So, one tutor, it's fine. 46 different cards in the stock list for Chevill on EDHREC.com. We've got 137 lists. That puts him at 21st among Golgari commanders.
That puts him right above Sapling of Kalfanor.
Yes.
And right below Polukranos Unchained.
Neat. Punch it all in. 62.8. Is that 63?
That's definitely 63.
Is that a new sound for when we like pass the 60 test?
That's the 60 test sound effect.
Sick.
Yeah.
60.
Wait, I'm going to use the... Don't smile. That's not clever. That's what a guy at work tells me every time I make a joke like that.
Stop being such a dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
man. My dad joked Rebecca so hard the other day. She's like, get out of the house.
You need to get in the car and just leave.
Leave me.
You need to divorce
Sign this
me
paper.
right now.
Oh, we shouldn't joke about that. But you know what? It's too late.
Yeah, we've already done
Too
it.
late. You can't edit it out, I guess.
I cannot. Not a chance. And even if I could, wouldn't.
Wouldn't.
Because it's funny.
Hard pass.
I won't edit it out. There we go.
So that's the deck. I like it. It feels like it would give me that high risk, high reward. I don't want to say high variance because I think, like I said, I would prioritize my opening hands. I would prioritize removal. I'd prioritize being able to enchant, swing and kill somebody. I would prioritize that with protection. That's how I would play it, and I would go from nothing to 100 miles an hour and kill somebody. But probably one person, then Chevill would die, and it would take the rest of the game to build that up while I'm politicking to maybe have player 2 kill FU Smitty. Aiden, you kill Smitty, just he's the threat. Like, I'm blown out of the water. And then later in the game, after Smitty's dead, boom, kill Aiden. Like, that's how I would play this deck.
I think that's the only way you can play this deck. It's
Yeah?
a great deck. It's super fun. I think it might not give you the many avenues to take while you're in the game, but it does give you a lot of different options and just crazy shit to get you to that one point on the map that you've
Yeah,
drawn.
you know what? This is like, it's almost like, I'm not calling this a precision honed combo deck, but I'm going to call it, it's like a deck where you're looking down a rifle scope at a deer like 1,300 yards away. That's what this deck is.
You're doing the precision strike as opposed to just kind of throwing shit at the walls and hoping that
Yeah,
somebody falls
instead
in it.
of like shooting out like a bazooka across the river that I'm looking at, like, you know, the same distance, and it's like just hoping it's close. You know what I mean?
That's how I play Magic.
Yeah, that's how Brando plays.
I play hand grenade Magic. I don't know about you guys, but
That's it. So that kind of sounds like a final thought of the day. You know what? Give us the Brando final thoughts. Do you have a good vibe for this week?
Yes, I do. It kind of makes me feel like a greasy dirtbag.
Oh, well, we just talked about the kind of Magic you like to play, so.
But it is fun. I was playing on Shitty Arena a game of Brawl, and I haven't won a game of Brawl in weeks.
Hey, we've been over this on the pre-show. You're supposed to not say those kinds of things. You're a subject matter expert.
This is because I throw games, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
But I was
okay.
done throwing games this time, and somebody was playing that fairy lady that whenever you play an instant or sorcerer, you get a fairy with flying.
Alila?
Alila, or whatever her name is. Somebody's screaming it at the
Alila Artville Provocateur.
That's the one. And this guy was playing such a dirt sandwich piece of shit deck. It was just like one of those griefer things where it's just bounce, make a guy swing at me for one. Or two, whatever it is. And I'm sitting there and I got a fucking massacre worm in my hand.
Oh, but you can't get any value off it yet because it's like, oh, what am I going to do? Get one guy?
Yeah, so I just let him counter I just played everything, and he kept countering it, bouncing it, bouncing it, and making this huge army of dudes, and he whittles me down to fucking one. One.
This is your good vibe.
And he goes, good game. And I go, good game. Massacre worm.
How many guys did he have?
Like 10.
And he just died in the 20 life format.
He just ate shit. It was the best thing. I felt so good because it was like the first win. I was like, yes! Those are the things I love in Magic.
You gave him the worm.
Exactly.
Give him the fucking worm, Brando.
You got one? You got anything that tops that? There it is. All right, give him the worm. If you would like to buy a Massacre Worm, you can check out our official sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your online source for all your gaming needs.
Oh, hey, I do have a good vibe.
Oh, sick.
You know my Balthor the Defiled deck?
It's a good one.
You're getting pimp.
Ooh.
Like almost every single card pimp.
Oh, shit.
Right? I just got me a foil Gauntlet of Power.
Oh,
baby. At the same time, I got a foil full art, like the special.
I'm very excited.
The special Massacre Worm.
Oh,
I got one.
Hell yeah.
And guess what I fucking did? I'm flipping through Balthor, come to Massacre Worm, already foiled. Put it in a Lenda.
Sick. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
there
that.
it is.
I like everything that just happened in that story. That's a good story. Anyhow, thank you very much for being here, listening to the show, inviting us back into your ear holes, your eye holes, and any other hole that you have us in each and every week. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with some more good vibes, another deck, and more super fun stories on another episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!